Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody. I know this is kind of an off day for us. We're here on a Wednesday instead of a Friday.
A very special episode.
Very special.
Where are we?
Culver.
I'm not used to being here on Wednesday. I have no idea where I am. Sorry, I just wanted to see what would happen.
Anyway, good afternoon. We're excited to do this very special show today. We are here with Khatija, my sister, and we're going to be hosting an event tomorrow. So Greg's our host today, all by himself. He's going to put us in the hot seat.
Very excited.
Ask us questions.
All right. It's just going to be a minute. No. So tomorrow we have the Culver City Business Event, and it is located where?
It's at 10858 Culver Boulevard, and it's in between the Vendée Museum and the paddle tennis courts.
Okay.
On Culver Boulevard. There's plenty of parking, and it's a new building. It's called the A-Frame Theater, and we're actually going to be in the theater, so come and check out this beautiful space. It's gorgeous. You'll love it. And it's brand spanking new.
Which is great. Yeah, the main thing is parking. We're going to have parking. That's very important.
Yes.
No need
for a change. Like, we usually have a lot of venues
and
that
yet some people show up and somehow they get parking. I
happens.
can't get parking at home, but they managed to get parking in the
I think one of the most challenging ones was the thrift store that we were at, and they were like, they have literally like 3 parking spaces out in front.
80 bucks.
But gosh, we had a great turnout at that one.
People left a day early to get there, which was really nice. It was a good, very good visit. So what I want to do today is we have our meeting tomorrow, and I want to just get from each of you what we're going to be expecting tomorrow. So Rafia, I'm going to start with you, and you tell us what can we expect from you tomorrow.
Well, just a lot of shenanigans to begin with, but after the shenanigans, we have wine and drinks and food and lots of people for you to network with and mingle. And then after all that, we're going to do a little presentation of my business as well as my sister's business. And then you'll have an opportunity to ask questions. And if there's still time, you might even get a chance to do a shout out for your own business.
Okay. So why don't you tell us briefly what you're going to be talking about tomorrow?
For my business.
Yeah.
So for my business, I really wanted to tell everybody how I got started.
Okay.
And how my little hobby turned into a business. And I wanted to talk about, I wanted to tie it in a little bit more with my sister and what she's doing.
It's jewelry, by the way.
It's jewelry. If you didn't know, I design a line of jewelry. I apologize for not being clear.
I just want to interject that.
That's why you're a good host, see?
Yeah.
You had to bring all this stuff out.
I almost listened. It's great. Okay. Go ahead.
Almost doesn't count.
It's going to have to do today. All right, go ahead.
So anyway, I was going to tie it in a little bit with like some of the meditative and energy thing that the stones and things that I work with, also have, and how it makes me feel when I'm working with them, and then how I like to have it go out into the world with those good positive vibe energies that are in there. So I was going to tie some of that in. I was going to talk about my story of basically how my business got started to where I am with it today.
Okay. And will you be selling jewelry tomorrow or displaying?
It's not my number one goal to sell. It's more of my number one goal to help and inspire small micro businesses that might be like, oh, this is my hobby, but maybe someday, it could be something bigger. So I'm hoping to inspire others to make it get to that point, of, hey, maybe they want to make that shift.
Yeah, which is a great reason for people to come to these meetings. It's great for networking, but it's also good, inspirational to see that other people can succeed. You have a dream, you might want to come talk to some people who had the same dream and are already successful at it. So.
And part of our group, our Culver City Biz group, is based on the idea that we help a lot of the micro businesses, right? And so where micro businesses cannot afford to pay like maybe yearly dues and things, this is a great place for you to come and get the support and things that you need to thrive, in your business. And so this offers that, the Culver City Biz Group offers that for them. And if we can help in any way, we're here for you. You know, that's basically the thing. And then also the other part of the Culver City Biz Group that's unique is we don't do a business to business so much. We do business to consumer a lot because most of our businesses need consumers.
Correct.
You know, we don't necessarily have like that business partnership that works all the time.
No,
So
theoretically, we get both the 10 meetings,
Right.
business and consumers, which works out really well.
that's why we're always open to the public for all of our events.
Yep, whoever wants to come. It's terrific. Okay, anything else you want to add, or we just wait and see tomorrow? I'm excited. I know you. I'm very
Just see what happens in the moment.
Yeah.
We have a lot of great RSVPs, so I'm super excited about that. And if you haven't RSVP'd yet, please do. You can RSVP at culvercitybiz@gmail.com.
All right.
Right?
You got it. Khatija, how about yourself? What are you going to be showing us tomorrow?
Well, like Rafia was saying, I'm going to share a bit about my journey,
Okay.
kind of how I got to where I am. It's been an evolution.
And explain what it is.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard. Like I always think.
I know it is.
I always think it's like for someone like Rafia or other people are like, I do this thing, you know, like I make
Right.
jewelry. It's like this one thing, and it's like mine is a little bit more nebulous.
Okay.
It's like
the best you can.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, so I call myself like a psycho-spiritual counselor and guide, and so I'm really helping people, I'm guiding them through those realms of the psycho-spiritual, and my focal point really is around helping people to feel their own pain, and I know that doesn't really sound sellable.
Keep going. Keep going.
I don't want to feel pain.
I'm going to move a little bit over here so I can get closer to the screen.
Listen, Greg and I have been through a lot of pain.
Enough pain for one day. But go ahead.
With our back.
Well, yeah, physical pain
Clear.
and physical pain is connected, right, to emotional and psychological pain, and so we're learning that more and more. The mainstream is learning that more and more, and so we even use the body, like, because the body is giving us those signals, right? Like, how can we come into feeling more? So you were talking about this group, which is really about relationship, right? This networking group is really about forming relationships, and I really believe that the most important relationship is the relationship you have with yourself and what is going on within you. And that is what translates and becomes a mirror for all the other relationships that you're having in your life, right? So I'm really helping, at the core of things, I'm helping people come more and more into relationship with themselves. Because when we're not feeling things, so a lot of people don't want to feel their pain, right? I mean, it doesn't sound fun.
As you said that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to feel their pain, so they're out of relationship with a whole aspect of themselves, like a whole part of themselves. But that
so
part...
is that where like addiction comes in?
Yes.
Okay.
So that part of themselves doesn't just go away, right? It's there.
Not by itself.
No. So even though you're not willing to be in relationship to it, it starts to come out in other ways. So it can come out like Rafia was saying, in addiction, or it can come out in like, unhealthy patterns of behavior in relationships, or self-destructive, insecurity, sabotage, all kinds of different ways, because it kind of gets pushed underground and then it starts to come out in these other ways.
And then there it is.
So when you kind of bring it out into the light of day and you actually like confront it and you face it and you befriend it, then it kind of has an opportunity to change into something higher that actually pushes you into more of like your purpose, more of what you're really here to do. And that's what I really like to show people, is who they really are. And who they really are is when they liberate themselves from the pain.
You'll have better relationships all around because you now know yourself better.
Yeah, and your life will feel more fulfilling and more satisfied. You'll be more at peace. It doesn't mean that things are not going to happen. It's like you have the capacity to deal with all of it.
And what are some of the things, I know we're going to talk tomorrow at length, but what are some of the things you do to bring that out in something?
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways I work. I kind of employ a lot of different modalities into my work, and I really work intuitively, so it depends on the person what we're going to be working with, right? So what I work with is something called an internal family systems model. So it's called parts work. It's really like about understanding the different parts. So you are a whole system within you. So you have the father within you, the mother within you, the little child within you. You have the protector. You have a lot of these different parts and we get into relationship with them and how they are working for you, against you, what do they really want, what do they need. So I work in that manner, like that's kind of the framework that I use. And then we work somatically. So it's really about feeling the pain in the body. And that's the part that people usually shy away from. So, yeah, so like if you have trauma, a lot of times people leave the body, right? Like they'll talk about that.
You
like,
run anywhere else, yeah.
Yeah.
But where the trouble
So
is.
like addictions are definitely a way to dissociate. Like they're a way to numb out and not feel the very physical pain. Like if you ever think about when you're in emotional pain, you actually feel it physically.
You can,
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so the way to heal it is to really connect to it physically in the body. And so I really work with people on kind of pointing them back into like sort of where do you feel it in your body? Can you describe what those sensations are? Can you stay with it? So it's about presencing yourself. So sort of like being the observer, witnessing what's happening, getting into relationship with it instead of running away from it because it feels uncomfortable.
So I've been through all that, and again, I know we're going to talk in like tomorrow, but just in case for instance, how do I know I need your service? How do I know to go to you? And then I'm actually feeling that I'm actually ready for something like that.
That's such a great question because some people think they're ready and
Some
they
people probably
realize,
don't know
And a
that.
lot of people don't.
no, they don't realize that once they start, then they're like, oh, whoa, like this is a lot
Too
and
much,
I don't know if
yeah.
I can do this, right? So how do you know? Well, I think most people know because they're in pain, meaning like their life is not working, something's not right. They know that there are things in their past that they really need to face because it's holding them back, right? But they don't know how to go about it. They don't know what to do. They don't have the tools to do that themselves, and they need some help. And part of what kind of the different spin I put on it is I am connecting into the larger spiritual purpose of your pain.
Okay.
And I'm helping you to see what is the larger spiritual purpose of your pain. Because I do really believe as souls that we kind of designed the life before we came here. We designed the life that would be the most fruitful for us to evolve as a soul. And so
sort of create our own destiny in a way.
in a way,
Yeah.
if we can line up with it, right? And so a lot of people, I think, well, because we forget where we were before we came here
Okay.
as a human, right? And so we forget our soul aspect. And so part of this is the discovery of like, oh, I really set this up. Maybe like I set up who's going to be my siblings, who's going to be my family, so that I would have,
Why did you pick her? Sorry.
Why did you pick me?
Well, I would say with all of my siblings, there's something like that I have. It's caused me to grow in some way, right? But not everyone looks at it that way, right? A lot of people look at it as like, oh, what is this fate that's befallen me? And like, I have, which is natural, yeah. But I think when you start to see like, well, what if it was that you designed it? Why would you design it that way? Like, why would you want to go through these things? How does it help you grow as a person? How does it make you wiser? How does it make you
Because
somebody?
you still needed to work things out with that soul.
Yes, oftentimes that's like a soul contract. Like we have a soul contract. We need to work something out that we haven't worked out in other lifetimes. So we're going to come back together in this lifetime, and we're going to try to work it out and heal it this time, right? So that can be a function of why you end up in the same family.
Would that carry over for next time, or would
Not if you work it out this time, but that's why I want people. That's why I want people to wake up to it, right? Because then you're going to let another lifetime go by,
that's why I said
right?
yeah.
So it's like if you could wake up to it in this lifetime, you have the chance to actually fulfill the soul mission that you came in with. And you don't have to kind of keep repeating the same. So that's why when we talk about like karma or like karmic lessons, it's like repeating the same things over and over again in other lifetimes or through the family generations. You're continually repeating the same
You're
lessons.
also repeating it in this lifetime, right? I mean,
Yes, you're repeating it in this
same-
lifetime until you become aware of
Until
it.
you don't, yeah.
Yeah, until
make
you
the same
you
mistake.
name it, and then you're like, okay, wait, I see this pattern over and over and over again. How can I see what it's asking me to do? Like, what is the lesson that I'm needing to learn? What is the way out? How do I liberate myself and my family even from those lessons?
What is the earliest, this is another question that probably will come up. What is the earliest age that you have spoken to somebody where they realize, they're young, they're already
trying to work stuff out that's going on.
You got to.
I work with
15,
kids.
16, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I work with kids younger. So I also, in my work, I do contract work counseling in a school a couple of days a week. So I work with young kids. That's actually my beginning was in working with kids, and so I've always had sort of like an affinity for really. There's so much. They're easier in some ways, and they're more challenging in other ways.
I would wonder, do they get it? And yet, then again, they're more. They'll listen better in a sense because they don't have as much to compare.
Exactly. They haven't hardened into things as much. And they have certain awarenesses or certain openness to things.
But they're also like, for me, when my kids were born, I could tell which one was an older soul and which one was a younger soul.
Yeah.
Interesting. How old
when they were babies,
Yeah.
And then it came into more of that understanding when they became toddlers and like preteens, but they were
correct, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Kids, there are some things that they really get, and some work is easier with them because they are more in touch with their bodies, right? So it's fun to have a conversation with a kid where you ask them, like, when they say they're really angry, and you say, where do you feel that in your body? And they're able to they're able to tell you, and they're able to like go to the more imaginative place that sometimes adults are very concrete, where if I say to a child like, what color is it and what shape is it, and they're able to play in that sort of space and energetically.
It's a different realm.
Yeah. And I work with kids as young as 5 years old. 5 or 6 years old.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what would be, how would a 5-year-old come to you? How would you know?
Well, when I'm in a school.
Hey, I'm gonna do that.
When I'm
a parent will.
A parent. Yeah, it's because the adults around the child are noticing things, right? Okay. The adults around the child are noticing that they're having trouble with their interactions with other kids or with adults, or they're letting out a lot of anger. They're showing a lot of aggression, right? Which is that they have unprocessed pain, and the only way that they know how to release it or to kind of express it is through that aggression or anger and acting out. Yeah. So those are the typical ways, right? That we notice something's off about the child, like they were happy before, now they're being like this, or every time they play with somebody, they're hitting them, or they're doing these things that even if they're not verbal and they can't say something's wrong, we can see these signs of things that are going on with them.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
I just wanted to try to get a
got
couple
a
questions.
little glimpse of it.
I wanted to try to get a couple questions in that people might not ask or may not come out.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll have a chance to ask some more questions tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I also wanted to say that with my private clients, I also weave in things like energy work, like Reiki, and which I can explain a little bit more, and maybe tomorrow I'll explain as well.
What's the general?
So Reiki is essentially, it's an energy healing modality, and so it is the Reiki practitioner is attuned to a high level of energy. It's almost like loving divine energy.
Okay.
So it's like a frequency of energy, and then I deliver that through my hands to the person. So it's not me, I'm not doing I'm just tuned into a certain frequency in the field, right. And then I'm bringing it through and applying and transmitting through me. And it's good for like spiritual healing, emotional healing, mental healing, physical healing as well. And then I also weave in astrology and tarot into my work with people, because that's the perspective, that's where we get the perspective of like the higher spiritual like map of our life, like, oh, this is why, this is what my soul's trying to do here. We can see that in the chart. We can ask questions with the tarot and get guidance and help and understanding of where we're supposed to focus and look in our work.
Wow. All right.
It's all to become more self-aware.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And to really like align yourself with who you truly are at the core, right? Like we all have like, and usually we see it in little babies, like because they're pure, right? Sure. So we are all like that, but then we go through all these experiences. It's sort of like the human experience is like, I come in, I forget, right? Like I remember and then I forget, and then I have all these experiences that make me forget who I am, and I get further and further away from who I am, and then it's the journey back to self is the spiritual journey, is to come back to our remembering of like, oh, this is who I am. This is truly who I am at the core.
And once you reach that core, I think it would obviously be a lot easier. You feel more comfortable around people and more the self-knowledge, self-awareness. You would be able to do it.
I think you take a lot less things personally.
Yeah, that's a good
And also, hopefully, then you become your better self.
Yes.
Right. Well, that's really
and you're able to give your gifts to the world.
You can pass it on to everybody.
Yeah. Because we all, like, I'll just throw one thing out there, like, we all have in our astrological chart something called Chiron. It's an asteroid. And Chiron is the archetype of the wounded healer. So it's that as we heal our wounds, our gifts emerge. Right? So that's a place where I can look in someone's chart and I can say, okay, like, how has this shown up in your life? Right? And what we can explore that wound, and we know that through healing that wound, that emotional and psychological wound, you will be able to give your gifts to the world.
Wow. All right. Okay, I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
It's a lot.
Yes, but very well explained.
But yes.
Yeah, we got
So
it.
this is what you're looking forward to tomorrow. In addition to my sister and I having our businesses there, we are also going to have the Culver City Historical Society there as well. And if you don't know about the Culver City Historical Society, they literally keep track of all the different things that have happened within Culver City from the existence to now. And they have a museum over here, not too far from where the Vende is. It's on the other side of the park over there. And they are going to come in with some of their books and some literature and things like that, and hopefully talk to you guys about their membership. And once every quarter, they do a program on certain families or certain areas of either the movie industry or certain families in Culver City. And those are really great programs. If you haven't gotten a chance to go to one of them, please do. And so they'll tell you more about all of that. So they'll have a little table there. And just like we said, come and enjoy, come and partake in some of these food and drinks and our businesses, and also connecting with other people, you know.
It's a great opportunity. And I'm just going to test your memory again. Where is it again?
10858 Culver Boulevard in Culver City.
Yep.
And it's called the A-Frame Theater. There is a gate from the parking lot that you will have to go through. So don't go through the museum. Don't go through the Vende Museum. Go through the gate. We'll have two people out there manning that gate. And then once you get into the gate, it'll be to your right. And you'll just come in. We'll have Greg and Laura at the sign-in table and get your little name badge, and that's it.
And you're good to go.
And you're good to go. It's going to be fun. Please RSVP if you can. That would be great, because that helps us with how much food to get, how many chairs to get, you know, so everyone's comfortable and everybody's happy. So please RSVP, okay? And we're going to put the flyer up again, and on the flyer has all the information as well.
I'm also going to be giving away stuff, so.
Oh yeah, we have raffle prizes too that we do every time. So don't miss that either, because that's a lot of good stuff that we give away, right? Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Right.
Anything else we want to add?
So tomorrow, 4:30?
Tomorrow, 4:30, being hosted and sponsored by me and my sister, and then
So
the
Rafia-
Historical Society.
Rafia will be talking about jewelry for your outer self, and Khatija will be talking about your inner self. You get to have a good day.
I like that.
I finally figured it out.
Oh, thank you. But also, that's so cool, because the jewelry can be the outer expression of
Right?
energetically where you are internally.
It took me a half hour to put it
Do
all
people
together.
ask questions on
I got it.
They do, but I don't see any questions.
Oh, boy.
People do ask questions. Where are the questions?
All right, we'll save it for tomorrow.
Yeah,
We'll have
save
some
it for
time.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we
See
all.
you for tomorrow. But we have some people watching, so that's good.
That's good.
But everybody want to ask questions. If you're still there and want to ask a question, put it into the comments.
Yeah, we can always answer them later as well.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. We'll see you
guys.
tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
See you tomorrow.